time for us to show forth the other side of Wu-Nuwaup. And that principle has always been raised amongst the ancient Mitzrayim. You want to call them that, Kemet, you want to call them that, Tamara, whatever you want to call us. And the principle is called Mad. It's the first principle of every order. And the sacred gathering spot is called Waset. It has been translated as Karnak, Aswan, but the sacred spot where the sacred temple was called Waset. You hear me? And the symbol was called Mad. Mad has been often interpreted to mean justice. I think in the Islamic world, the best interpretation of Mad became jihad. And those amongst them that were physical took jihad to mean physical war. And those amongst them called the Mutasawwif or the Sufi took jihad to mean a spiritual struggle inside oneself against justice or injustice. Quran even said, injustice and impartiality will not be tolerated. So the symbol that you raise is the ostrich feather. You may have noticed it in the hieroglyphs. Many of your ancestors or deities have the symbol of the ostrich feather, and that's called the mat. That's the foundation of all the mystical orders worldwide, be they Native American, Freemason, Essene, Magus, Knights of Columbus, Shriners, Theosophical Society, Astara, Rosicrucian. They all go back to the mat. And this is why they say one of the first things that was created was the quill. The quill, which was the pen that did all the inscriptions of the Greek deity Tahuti, was the ostrich feather. They would carve it and they use it, the scribes, to write the many books of ancient Egypt that most people today have forgotten. But that was our symbol. Remember that symbol, mat. It represents the struggle within inside. The reason why they chose the feather, because a feather is a very sturdy object, but in wind it fluctuates. But it'll flow with the wind. You notice the Native Americans put feathers on their arrows to make it steer straightly. Well, in ancient Egypt, that same symbol represented steering the Ka and the Baaah through these troubled times and these winds. They call them sentimental winds of life. When pressures come down, the person that has a strong inner side survives. The person that has a weak inner side falls to the wayside, always. Those people whose principles in Wu-Nuwaup are based on a spiritual thing will survive any changes. Just as those people who are Ansari spiritual, regardless of where the surface went, they were still Ansars. Whether we was calling ourselves Hebrews, or Nuwaupians, or Native Americans, or Cowboys, whatever we called ourselves, because their roots in what we were doing were in the spiritual, not in the physical appearance of being a Muslim, wearing a tagiyah, wearing jalabiya. That wasn't where they were at. They were there spiritually. They were a cosmos. They were a part of the cosmos. The utterance, that word that stirs inside each one of us. And they get anchored in the word. And the foundation of it is the word is true or false. False manifests in the physical. Truth always in the spiritual. Because you can't lie in the spiritual sense. You cannot lie to your soul, because you cannot lie to yourself. And that's why in the language Hebrew they had nefesh and in Arabic nefsi. And they had combined the word spirit and self as one word. You could not lie because you cannot betray your spiritual self. You'll tell yourself the truth. So you are your best master, thus you are your best God. Because you cannot lie to God. And the only being that you come in contact with that you cannot lie to is yourself. So God therefore becomes the judge of the judge. That's why he said, I am that I am. He repeated I am twice. I am that I am. They say, oh, I am that which I am, or I am whom I am. He identifies his outer part, his outer being, and his inner being. He never told him his name. When they ask you his name, say I am that I am. You have to learn the principle that I am that I am merely means what you see is what you get. It's a very simple. It sounds complicated. They've turned into all these different mystical interpretations in the Kabbalah of the Jews, but simply means I am that I am. No more, no less.
Yes. Okay. This is the last question, because I know you have to align.
Baaah Baaah. This is a question concerning the lesson 1 that I had some time back, and I really want to get a good understanding of it. As I did my first lesson, I noticed I seen a being of Al-Qadar, and eventually it went to one eye, and it went to the question of who am I and what am I. I just didn't understand that as far as me writing it in and returning it. But I passed it and went on. I just really need to get an understanding of my first lesson more than my second and third one.
All right. In the first lesson, where it tells you about how Melchizedek will come and visit you, you follow? Had it not been told to you and you accept it, it may not have happened. Do you follow that? Sometimes to make an event take place, a person, especially a graphic person like we are, must be told the event. If you were not taught about a God, could there be a devil? So the principle of teaching about God graphically creates a necessity for a devil. And in the event that a devil is totally eliminated from the subconscious mind, then there'd be no need to call him God. So you create a scenario that takes a person to another level. And so you say, you know, you are capable of being visited by Melchizedek. You have that ability once you bring yourself to a certain level. And the deity in you will bring Melchizedek to you. Yeah, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Will make that happen. So the first lesson of people who made that kind of contact, those people connected an etheric cord directly to me when they did that. And thus I can get through their etheric cord into their dreams and into their life on various occasions to guide them. Those who blocked it because they didn't believe it possible did not allow me to make that etheric connection to them. Thus I can't get through the etheric cord to make contact with them on a spiritual level. I only meet them on the physical plane. That first lesson was making a link, a silsila, as the lesson explained it, a chain link between me and you, and me and the universe to you. I'm the connection to the enad, the 9 enads, and that connection is through me to you. That's what that first lesson is supposed to do. It's supposed to link us. And sometimes we tell people, if you didn't get that first lesson, don't be so hasty to get more books. Go back and study it until you grasp not so much of what the words are saying, but until you have that vision. I didn't hear you.
Is that an actuality?
It's an actuality to the person it's happening to, and it will be a dream to a person who's looking on. Because both worlds are real.
Right on.
I'll explain that. If you can have a nocturnal emission, which means that while in a dream state, you can actually have a physical reaction, then there's definitely a connection between the physical. You can actually, in university, when students would sleep, we'd pour water in their hand and they'd pee the bed. We did that stuff too. And your body can actually make a link while you're in your dream. A person can step into your dream physically, because sometimes when you're laying in your bed and about to wake up, if your brother comes in the room, he becomes a part of your dream and then you wake up. This is not so that only a spiritual being can do it. There's a doorway left open for beings to get into your dreams if you welcome them. And if you don't welcome them, but the hippocampus area of the brain starts to hallucinate and you start bringing things into your brain that you don't want there. And they traumatize you, chase you, and you wake up in a what? A full sweat. How come your sweat glands is activating if it's all imagination and no reality? You would be imagining that you're sweating and wake up dry. But the fact that in a dream state, as they call it, you are actually having a physical reaction tells you that those two worlds, mesh and become one. You hear me? So it is a reality. And the people that have me visit them when they need me, and have me visit their relatives when they need guidance, and their mothers in the hospital, and the different things, it is real to me and to them. And those people who sit down before their affirmation and in their own, when they make that spiritual connection with that letter they send me, and they put their hands on that letter, we connect right up with each other. And I send energy through that, the stuff you're doing to Om, through me to you. That is real. Alright?
Right on.
What do?